It was a calm evening in a small American town, the kind where everyone knew each other and strangers rarely passed through. The neon sign of Maggie's Diner flickered in the fading sunlight as the sound of roaring motorcycles grew louder on the highway. Within minutes, a group of 6 bikers pulled up, dust trailing behind them. Their presence was intimidating. Black leather jackets, heavy boots, beards, and tattoos that told stories of wild roads and brotherhood. Inside the diner, the mood was easygoing. Country music hummed from an old jukebox, and the smell of fried food filled the air. The waitress, an older woman named Betty, smiled warmly as she poured coffee for the bikers. Their leader, Cole Ironheart Walker, was a tall, rugged man with sharp eyes, but a calm tone that made even strangers feel safe. The men laughed, joked, and ordered pie, their laughter echoing off the tiled walls, until the front door swung open with a desperate bang. A little girl stumbled inside, clutching a ripped teddy bear. Her face was streaked with tears, her hair tangled, and her dress dirty as if she'd run for miles. Every conversation in the diner stopped. She looked around, shaking, then rushed toward Cole's table. "Please, please help me," she cried, her voice breaking. "The billionaire is beating my mama." The words hung in the air like thunder. The bikers froze. Betty gasped, nearly dropping the coffee pot. Cole immediately stood and knelt beside the child. "Slow down, sweetheart," he said gently. "Tell me what happened." The girl hiccuped through her tears. "My mama, she cleans his house. He gets angry when she talks back. I tried to stop him, but he pushed me away. I ran here. I didn't know where else to go." Cole's jaw tightened, anger flashing in his eyes. He looked out the window where, far beyond the hills, the faint lights of a mansion glimmered. Everyone in town knew who lived there. Henry Dalton, the billionaire businessman who treated people like dirt beneath his polished shoes. Snake, the biker with a bandana around his neck, clenched his fists. "And that rich punk thinks he can do whatever he wants just 'cause he's got money." Ryder leaned back in his seat, his voice cold. "Let's see how tough he feels when someone his own size shows up." The girl's eyes widened in fear and hope. "You'll help her?" Cole looked into her tearful eyes and nodded slowly. "Yeah, sweetheart. We'll help her. You stay here with Miss Betty, okay? We'll bring your mama back safe." The bikers rose in unison, the air around them suddenly electric. Their boots thudded across the diner floor as they walked out. The engines growled to life, headlights piercing the darkening sky. As they sped off toward the mansion, the little girl pressed her teddy bear to her chest and whispered, "Please save her." And somewhere beyond the hills, justice was about to roar to life. The roar of the motorcycles echoed through the night as the bikers climbed the winding hill leading to the billionaire's mansion. The once peaceful town now seemed tense under the weight of what was about to happen. Cole led the group, his face hard with determination, the headlights of the other bikes cutting through the darkness behind him. At the top of the hill stood Henry Dalton's grand estate, white pillars, marble steps, and tall iron gates guarded by 2 security men. The bikers pulled up, engines growling like caged beasts. Cole dismounted, his boots crunching against the gravel. One guard stepped forward nervously, hand on his weapon. "You can't be here," the guard warned. Cole's voice was calm but commanding. "A little girl came running for help. Her mother's inside, beaten by your boss. Move." The guard hesitated. He'd worked for Dalton long enough to know the man's cruelty, but he also knew what these bikers were capable of. Before he could decide, Snake stepped forward, towering over him. "Move," he growled. The guards exchanged a look, and the gates slowly creaked open. The bikers stormed up the marble stairs, boots echoing like thunder. From inside came shouting, a man's voice filled with rage. Cole kicked the door open with one powerful strike. It swung wide, slamming into the wall. Inside, Henry Dalton stood in the center of his lavish living room, a glass of whiskey in one hand and anger in his eyes. On the floor near the fireplace lay a woman, bruised, trembling, clutching her side. Her daughter's torn hair ribbon was still in her hand. "What the hell is this?" Dalton barked, his voice shaking more from shock than authority. Cole took a step forward. "You like hitting women?" he asked, his voice low and dangerous. Dalton sneered. "She's my employee." None of your... Before he could finish, Cole's fist connected with his jaw, sending the billionaire sprawling to the floor. The glass shattered, whiskey splashing across the expensive rug. Ryder grabbed Dalton by the collar and yanked him upright. "You think money makes you a man? Let's see how tough you are without your bodyguards." The woman tried to speak, her voice weak. "Please, don't hurt him." "I just want to leave." Cole looked down at her gently. "You won't have to see him again, ma'am. You're safe now." He helped her to her feet, while Snake called for an ambulance and the police. When the sirens finally appeared in the distance, the bikers stood guard outside, ensuring Dalton couldn't escape. The woman and her daughter were reunited moments later, the little girl running into her mother's arms, crying with relief. Cole watched the reunion silently. Then he turned to his crew. "Let's go. Our job's done." As they rode back down the hill, the flashing red and blue lights behind them faded into the night. The mother and daughter were safe, and in that quiet American town, people whispered of the night when justice came not in suits or badges, but on roaring motorcycles.